Leave a Legacy is brought to you by DuPont Pioneer. DuPont Pioneer, helping you get the right product on the right acre. Science with service, delivering success.
Farms in the same family for nearly a century and a half tend to have a story or two worth telling. That's definitely the case for the Wesley Farm in Peru, Indiana. In this Leave a Legacy report, Clinton Griffiths introduces us to a family that's getting closer to keeping their piece of history in place.
Just driving across the pasture, it's almost hard to believe this is now home for Steve and Polly Dobbs.
People who had left and were doing other things come back here because it's special, it's unique. It's not the sort of place that you put up on the market when one generation passes away.
The two young adults, now with two kids of their own, are set to follow in Polly's parents' footsteps, managing Wesley Farms in Peru, Indiana.
You know, I wasn't sure who would be interested. It's hard when a daughter marries, it's hard to predict which way her life will lead, but it's kind of unlikely that it'll lead back home.
It was the same situation Joey faced as a young woman after her marriage to Air Force pilot Sydney. They spent about 20 years moving base to base until her father began calling them home. Eventually, they did return and began learning the business.
Well, I tell you what, Sid, if anything happens to me, you've got this whole outfit right there on your head, and it'll be a hard way to learn with nobody to help you.
I'm the youngest of 5, and my older 4 siblings were all born at different Air Force bases all around the country when Dad was still flying, but I came around much later, and so this is all I ever knew.
All she ever knew, but for many years, a place she couldn't leave fast enough.
I was tired of chores and curfews and being tied to the farm, so I ran away from the farm.
And she's not the only one to do so.
Anything goes.
Family member and one-time Wesley Farm owner Cole Porter, composer and entertainment legend, also built a successful career off the farm. It was his decision to leave the fields to Polly's great-grandfather that brought her family back to this storied property. After college, she and Steve got married, she finished law school, and found a job at a firm in downtown Indianapolis. Meanwhile,
Dad's getting older, and those older 4 siblings they're not just off the farm, they're out of the state.
So when her dad brought it up that they were looking for someone to come home, and you know, it kind of went down the oldest brother and the next oldest brother, and like Polly said, they all had roots somewhere else.
But years as an estate planning attorney came with lessons for her own life.
We'd be happy to come and we'll step in and bring our family here, but only after we have some things down in writing.
That didn't mean cutting everyone else out of the picture.
But it's our whole family's heritage. It's their family farm too. So Mom and Dad carefully identified some big issues. If we were ever to sell, well, that's not something we could decide unilaterally. It would take unanimous agreement of my other 4 siblings to do that.
With a plan in place, this family is now free to live, to work each day on preserving a storied legacy with an eye on the next generation of family farmers, whomever that may be.
Who knows if my kids will want to stay here? You know, you don't know, but there's got to be somebody from her family that is able to come in and kind of do what I've done and do what my father-in-law did, and then his father-in-law before him.
It's very unique that there end up being female descendants of the family that marry smart guys, and then we drag them back to the farm.
A place in Peru.
Anything goes.
Not a livelihood for everyone, but a good enough home for all.
Anything goes.
Thanks, Clinton. Now, you may have noticed that impressive house. It wasn't actually built by Cole Porter. It was his mother's house, built for her by Cole's grandfather, J.O. Cole. It cost $18,000 and took 3 years to build. That was about 100 years ago. After the break, Tractor Tales and our Country Church Salute.